I call the member for Whitsunday.
Thanks very much, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, tonight I'd like to talk about cyclone recovery in my beloved Whitsundays, more than 2 years on from Category 4 Cyclone Debbie. But before I do so, I want to acknowledge today being the 30th anniversary of Cyclone Ivu, which impacted the lower Burdick and communities to the north of Bowen in April of 1989. I remember it quite well as a young baby-faced reporter with News Corp, covering the destruction in communities such as Guthallungra, Gumloo, Inkerman and Molongal Creek, where sadly an elderly gentleman by the name of Joe Poppich passed away as a result of the storm surge. It was a cyclone that many people don't talk about today, but certainly for locals they haven't forgotten. Mr Speaker, more than 2 years on from Debbie, the people of the Whitsundays, more and more people I speak to, they tell me they believe that 3 levels of government have failed them in the reconstruction efforts in our community. Our public buildings, we are still waiting to see the reopening of the Proserpine Entertainment Centre. It's amazing it took 2 years to see the Palaszczuk Labor government cough up for money, $5 million. It's amazing to see we saw another delay for the reconstruction of the new Proserpine Chamber of Commerce, waiting for the state and federal money to cough up so we can get on with it and get our community going again. In fact, we talk about cyclone recovery. Go back to Cyclone Marsha, and I remember going around the Capricorn Coast in 2015 and seeing what happened there. And look, I've got to say, well done, Bill Ludwig, the Mayor of Livingston Shire, because he was able to extract something close to $30 million for the Yeppoon foreshore revitalisation on the back of Cyclone Marsha. You fast forward 2 years later, and in the Whitsundays we had, of course, Cyclone Debbie, and Andrew Wilcox and his council, the Bowen Mayor, the best they could manage out of the Palaszczuk Labor government was less than $5 million. Quite amazing when you think about it, and that's before we talk about things like the Wilson's Beach swimming enclosure, which I've been campaigning to get fixed, and I thank all those people who joined with me in signing that petition. But I've got to say, Mr Speaker, that the efforts of the Bowen Mayor have fallen flat, and he's nothing more than a lapdog for the former 2-time failed Labor candidate, Mike Brunker, who's the de facto mayor. And Andrew Wilcox, I'm sorry, but he may as well enjoy his last 12 months, because it is only going to be a lap of honour in local government for the Mayor of Bowen, as I call him. Can I say this, that it is a bitter pill to swallow, because we've just had the federal budget, and I think a lot of people say well done to Josh Frydenberg for tax cuts, well done on supporting small business, well done on getting the budget back into surplus. But I tell you what, in Dawson, if you look in today's edition of The Australian, where's the infrastructure spending? Nothing at all. And it was interesting to see the comments today attributed to the Mayor of Mackay, Greg Williamson, a former Liberal candidate for Dawson, basically poo-pooing the budget and its impact on infrastructure or lack of in Dawson. I think the people of Dawson need to think carefully about this vote at the next election. That's why I'm backing the KAP candidate in the seat of Dawson.
Order.